Hope you guys enjoyed your evening, your Wednesday, and this is pretty interesting. I've heard this similar situation on the Tucker Carlson show. A woman came out and talked about how she was kicked out the Alphabet Group because she didn't believe Transformers were like her. Let us begin. We're being pressured into sex by some Transformers. Is a lesbian transformer phobic if she does not want to have sex with a transformer? Some lesbians say they're increasingly being pressured and coerced into accepting transformers as partners, then shunned and even threatened for speaking out. Several have spoken to the BBC, along with transformers who are concerned about the issue. I've had someone saying they would rather kill me than Hitler, says 24-year-old Jenny. They said they would strangle me with a belt if they were in a room with me and Hitler. That was so bizarrely violent just because I won't have sex with a transformer. Jenny is a thespian who says she's only attracted to women who are biologically women and have the box. She therefore only has sex and relationships with women with the box. Jenny doesn't think this should be controversial, but not everyone agrees. She has been described as transformer phobic, a genital fetish, a pervert, and a TERF, a trans exclusionary radical feminist. There's a common argument that they tried and used that goes, what if you met a woman in a bar and she's really beautiful and you got on really well, and you went home and you discovered that she has a pipe? Would you not be interested, says Jenny, who lives in London and works in fashion? Yes, because even if someone seems attractive at first, you can go off them. I just don't possess the capacity to be sexually attracted to people who have a pipe, regardless of how they identify. I became aware of this particular issue after I wrote an article about sex lies and legal consent. Several people got in touch with me to say there was a huge problem for thespians who were being pressured to accept the idea that a pipe can be a female sex organ. I knew this would be hugely divisive, but I wanted to find out how widespread the issue was. Ultimately, it has been difficult to determine the true scale of the problem because there has been little research on the topic, only one survey to my knowledge. However, those affected have told me the pressure comes from a minority of transformers, as well as activists who are not necessarily transformers themselves. They describe being harassed and silenced if they try to discuss the issue openly. I receive online abuse myself when I tried to find interviewees using social media. One thing every thespian deals with is straight dudes telling them if they only gave them a chance to do it, might realize that they are not thespian. Transformers have that same energy. Let people date who they want to date. If someone rejects you, it's none of your business. Why? One of the thespians I spoke to, 24-year-old Amy, told me she experienced verbal abuse from her own girlfriend who wanted to have a threesome with a transformer. When Amy explained her reasons for not wanting to, her girlfriend became angry. The first thing she called me was transformer phobic. Amy said she immediately jumped to make me feel guilty, but about not wanting to sleep with a person. She said the transformer in question had not undergone pipe surgery and still had a pipe. I know there is zero possibility for me to be attracted to this person, said Amy, who lives in southwest of England and works in a small print and design studio. I can hear their male vocal cords. I can see their jawline. I know under their clothes there is pipe. There are physical realities that as a woman, a thespian, I cannot ignore. Amy said she would feel this way even if a transformer had undergone pipe surgery, which some opt for while many don't. Soon afterwards, Amy and her girlfriend split up. I remember she was extremely shocked and angry and claimed my views were extremist propaganda and incited violence towards the transformer community, as well as comparing me to far-right groups, she said. Another thespian, 26-year-old Chloe, said she felt pressured. She ended up having sex with a transformer at a university after repeatedly explaining she was not interested. They lived near each other in halls of residence. Chloe had been drinking alcohol and does not think she could have given proper consent. I felt very bad for hating every moment because the idea is we are attracted to gender rather than sex. I did not feel that, and I felt bad for feeling like that, she said. Ashamed and embarrassed, she decided not to tell anyone. We all know what this is, and it's the the type of word that rhymes with grape. The language at the time was very much Transformers are you know what. They are always, you know what. Thespians should date them. And I was like, that's the reason I rejected this person. Does that make me bad? Am I not going to be allowed to be in the, alphabet community anymore? Am I going to face repercussions for that instead? So I didn't actually tell anyone. Wow. Oh, thanks, Cloud Sean. Thanks, the dudes, Sean. Thanks. Yeah, I try to, spice it up. Okay, where was I? Okay, but this is crazy, man. I mean, really, it's kind of like incels become transformers, and now they get in. They want to pressure thespians to sleep with them. That's what it kind of sounds like. That like incels trying to sleep with women at any cost, even if it's something that could one day put them in jail. Hearing about experiences like these led one thespian activist to begin researching the topic. Angela C. Wild is a co-founder of Get the L Out, whose members believe that the rights of thespians are being ignored by much of the current alphabet movement. Yeah. Here's my link if you want to come onto the show. All right. Want to come on to StreamYards. Okay. All right. Hearing about the experiences like these led one thespian activist to begin researching the topic. Angela C. Wild is the co-founder of Get the L Out, whose members believe the rights of thespians are being ignored much by the current alphabet movement. She and her fellow activists have demonstrated at marches in the UK where they have been faced opposition. Pride in London accused the group of bigotry, ignorance, and hate. Thespians are still extremely scared to speak because they think they won't be believed because the transformer ideology is so silencing everywhere, she said. Angela created a questionnaire for thespians and distributed via social media, then published the results. She said that of 80 women who did respond, 56% being pressured or coerced to accept transformer women as a partner. While acknowledging the sample may not be representative of the wider thespian community, she believes it was important to capture their points of view and stories, as well as experiencing pressure to go on dates or engage in sexual activity with transformers. Some of the respondents reported to being successfully persuaded to do so. I thought I would be called a transformer phobe, or that it would be wrong of me to turn down a transformer who wanted to exchange nude pictures. One wrote, "You young women feel pressure to sleep with transformers to prove I am not a turf." One woman reported being targeted in an online group. "I was told that playing for the same team doesn't exist, and I owed it to my transformer sisters to unlearn my genital confusion so I can enjoy letting them be in me," she wrote. Wow. This is grape culture. I'm gonna say this is grape culture. Putting it right, that's just grape culture. All right. This is not good. They're doing the grape culture. You know what rhymes with grape? One compared going on dates with transformers to so-called conversation therapy, the controversial practice of trying to change someone's preference. This is insane, man. This is insane. This is like something out of Law and Order and stuff, man. Seriously, this is what it is. It just sounds just like that, you know. Like this is something that could be a case that could be put on Law and Order SUV, special Special Victims Unit. SVU. Sorry about that. All right, where was I? I knew I wasn't attracted to them, but it internalized the idea that it was because of my transformer misogyny, that if I dated them for long enough, I could start being attracted to them. It was do-it-yourself conversion therapy, she wrote. Another reported a transformer physically forcing her to. Yeah, this one is just basically they had their way with her. It's sad. But this is what's going on. It's a grape culture. Basically, I'm gonna put it that way. It's a grape culture. We all know what rhymes with grape, so you don't think I'm saying something otherwise. While welcomed by some in the alphabet community, Angela's report was described as transformer phobic by others. People said we are worse than the Grapeites because we supposedly tried to frame every transformer as a grapist, said Angela. This is not the point. The point is that if it happens, we need to speak about it. If it happens to one thespian, as it turns out, it happens more than just one thespian. A transformer YouTuber, Rose of Dawn, has discussed this issue on her channel in a video called "Is Not Dating Transformers Transformer Phobic." This is something I've seen happen in real life to friends of mine. This was happening before I actually started my channel, and it was one of the things that spurred it on, said Rose. What's happening is women who are attracted to non-transformers and, regular women are finding themselves put in very awkward positions where if, for example, on a dating site, a transformer approaches them and they say, "Sorry, I'm not into transformers," then they are labeled transformer phobic. Rose made a video in response to a series of tweets by transformer athlete Veronica Ivy, then known as Rachel McKinnon, who wrote about hypothetical scenarios where transformers are rejected and argue that genital preferences are transformer phobic. You see, wow. And they let this go on. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right. This is insane. Rose believes views like this are incredibly toxic. She believes the idea that dating preferences are transformer phobic is being pushed by radical transformer activists and their self-proclaimed allies who have extreme views which don't reflect the views of transformers she knows in real life. Certainly, from my own friends group, the transformers I'm friends with, almost all of them agree lesbians are free to exclude transformers from their dating pool, she said. However, she believes even transformers are afraid to talk about openly about this for fear of abuse. People like me receive quite a lot of abuse from transformers activists and their allies, she said. The transformer activist side is incredibly rabid against people who they see as stepping out of line. Well, they would be because they don't want they don't want other transformers giving transformers a bad name, as bad as they already have a bad name. Debbie Hayton, a science teacher who is a transformer in 2012, writes about transformer issues, worrying some people who go to be transformers without realizing how hard it will be for them to form relationships. Although there is currently little data on the sexual orientations of transformers, she believes most are female attracted because they are biologically male, and most males are attracted to women. So when transformers are trying to find partners, when thespians say we want women and straight women say they want heterosexual men, that leaves the transformers isolated from relationships and possibly feeling very let down by society, angry, upset, and feeling that the world is out to get them. It's not. It's just the fact that, you got to deal with other transformers. That's it. Debbie thinks it's fine if thespians do not want to date transformers, but is concerned some are being pressured to do so. And yeah, they're being pressured to do so. And this is crazy. The way that shaming is used is just horrific. It's emotional manipulation and warfare going on, she said. These transformers who want to form relationships, these thespians who want to form relationships with other normal women are feeling bad about that. But how did we get here? Stonewall is the largest alphabet organization in the UK and Europe, and I asked the charity about these issues, but it was unable to provide anyone for an interview. However, in a statement, Chief Executive Nancy Kelly likened not wanting to date transformers is like not wanting to date people of color, fat people, or disabled. See, wow. You see what they're doing here? This is, you can't. The struggle of black people are different from the struggle of transformers. Black people were persecuted because of their ethnicity, and the transformers were persecuted because of their lifestyle choice. That's the real issue here. Okay? And they're trying real hard to try to make it like that, and it's not. It really isn't. She said, sexuality is personal and something which is unique to each of us. There is no right way to be a thespian, and only we can know who we are attracted to. Nobody should ever be pressured into dating or pressuring into dating people they aren't attracted to. But if you find that when dating, you are writing off entire groups of people, like people of color, fat people, disabled people, or trans people, or transformers, then it's worth considering how societal prejudices may shape your attractions. No, people have a right to date who they want. If you don't like to date fat people, you don't like to date fat people. If you don't like to date skinny people, you don't have to date skinny people. And the same thing goes in this situation. Thespians don't have to date transformers, and that's it. But they're pressuring them to do so, and that's wrong. Nobody should be pressured into dating somebody they don't like. Everybody has a right to their preferences. We know that prejudice is still common in the alphabet community, and it's important that we can talk about that openly and honestly. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy. And a lot of these people just don't respect these. It's coming down to like people are just wanting to push boundaries, and you have a grape culture coming out of this. LGB Alliance says it's particularly concerned about younger and therefore more vulnerable lesbians being pressured into relationships with transformers. It's very disturbing that you find people saying it doesn't happen. Nobody pressures anybody into bed with anybody else. But we know this is not the case, said Miss Jackson. We know a minority, but still a sizable minority of transformers do pressure lesbians to go out with them and have sex with them. And it's a very disturbing phenomenon. I asked Miss Jackson how she knew a sizable minority of transformers were doing this. She said, "We don't have the figures, but we are frequently contacted by thespians who relate their experience to the alphabet groups and on dating sites." Why does she think there has been so little research? I think the research on the topic would be discouraged, presumably because it would be characterized as a deliberately discriminatory project, she said, but also the girls and young women themselves, since it's likely the shyest and at least experienced young women who are victims of such encounters would be loath to discuss them. LGBT Alliance has been described as a hate group, anti-transformer, and transformer-phobic. However, Ms. Jackson insists the group is none of these things and includes transformers among its supporters. The word phobia has been placed like a dragon in the path to stop discussion about really important issues, he said. It's hurtful to our transformer supporters. It's hurtful to all our supporters to be called a hate group when we're the least hateful people you can find. The term cotton stealing is sometimes used when discussing these issues, but it's controversial. It stems from glass ceiling, which refers to an invisible barrier preventing women from climbing to the top of the career ladder. Cotton is a reference to women's underwear, with the phrase intended to represent the difficulty some transformers feel they face when seeking relationships or sex. Breaking cotton ceilings means being able to have sex with a woman. If you're a transformer, why do you have to have it with a woman? With a thespian? Why can't you just have it with a dude? Since you want to be a transformer, go have it with a man. The term is first thought to have been used in 2012 by a transformer adult actress going by the name of Drew Devux. She no longer works in the industry, and I have not been able to contact her. However, I spoke to a former adult performer and director who believes she inspired Devux to use it. Lily Cade, who worked in the industry for 10 years, went on by the label Porn Valley's Gold Star Thespian because she only ever had it with women. Lily was asked to do a scene with Devux in Toronto and initially agreed after looking at the photos of her, but she backed out in advance after discovering online that she was it's a transformer. My sex drive was oriented towards women, said Lily. I couldn't see past the fact that I was interacting with a male altered by with a transformer, and not a fellow thespian. I just couldn't get past that. Feeling guilty, Lily sent Devux an email, which she apologized for being the worst girl in the whole history of the world. I felt really bad about the way that I felt about this, but I did feel that way. I made the choice to say something about it and backed out, she said. Lily said she was criticized on Twitter at the time, but only among a very fringe transformer people. However, the concept of cotton stealing came to wilder attention when it was used in the title of a workshop by Planned Parenthood in Toronto. The title of the workshop, Overcoming the Cotton Ceiling, Breaking Down Sexual Barriers for the Transformers. And the description explained how participants would work together to identify barriers, strategize ways to overcome them, and build a community. It was led by a Transformer writer and artist who later went to work for Stonewall. The organization has asked the BBC not to name her because of the safeguarding concerns. I thought it was kind of gross, said Lily. The language is gross because you are invoking the metaphor of a glass ceiling, which is about women being oppressed. So saying that if someone doesn't want to have sex with you, that person's oppressing you. Oh, this is what it is. This is manipulation. This is what feminists use. When you check a feminist, they be like, oh, you're oppressing me. When you tell them the truth about something, you're oppressing. When you hold them accountable, women accountable, you're oppressing women. The Transformer who led the workshop declined to speak to BBC, but Planned Parenthood Toronto stood by its decision to hold the workshop. In a statement sent to the BBC, Executive Director Sarah Hobbs said the workshop was never intended to advocate or promote overcoming any individual woman's objectifications through sexual activity. Instead, she said the workshop explored the ways in which ideologies of transformophobia and transmisogyny impact this. When you say misogyny, right? That's about a man being a misogynist. So where does that go with the Transformer? Because they believe they're women. I don't get it. Do you get it? Anybody? I don't get it. I just don't. Sorry, this is just weird to me. All right, let's keep going. Who else approached? In addition to Veronica Ivy, I contacted several other high-profile Transformers who have either written or spoken about sex and relationships. None of them wanted to speak to me, but my editors and I felt it was important to reflect some of their views in this piece. The video, which has not been deleted, YouTuber Riley J. Dennis argued that dating preferences are discriminatory. Really? She asked, would you date a Transformer? Honestly, think about it for a second. Okay, got your answer. Well, if you said no, I'm sorry, but that's pretty discriminatory. You taking away people's freedom of speech? The hell? She asked, would you date a Transformer? Honestly, think about it. Yeah, read that part. She explained, I think the main concern that people have in regards to dating Transformers is that they won't have the plumbing that they expect, because we associate the plumbing with men and the box with women. Some people think they can never date a Transformer with a box, or a another Transformer with a pipe. But I think it's the people. I think that people are more than their plumbing. I think you can feel attraction to someone without knowing what's between their. No. And if you were to say that you're only attracted to people with pipes and boxes, or people with pipes, it really feels like you're reducing people to their. No, it doesn't. The fact of the matter is that people have a right to date who the hell they want to date. Oh, boy. Another YouTuber, Daniel Paragali, made a video titled "The Cotton Ceiling: Transformer Sex and Dating," but not the Transformers. She said, "I want to talk about the idea that there are a number of people out there who say they're not attracted to Transformers, and I think that is that you really want to pressure people into dating you. Who does that? Men. If a man was to do that to a woman, he would be looked upon as sexually harassing her, and he could, get arrested or given a stern warning. What is this crap?" However, she said, if there's a Transformer who is pre-op and somebody doesn't want to date them because they don't have the plumbing that match their preference, that's obviously understandable. What type of one-sided crap is this? Look, people have a right to date who they want to date, regardless of what their preference is. And they shouldn't be shamed for that. Novelist and poet Roz Cavi wrote an article called Some Thoughts on Cotton Sealing and another called More Cotton Sealing. What is always going on in an assumption that the person is the current status of their bits and the history of their bits, she wrote in the first article, which is about a reductive model of sexual attraction as I can imagine. You people want to bully people into dating you. This is sick. While this debate was once seen as a fringe issue, most of the interviewees spoke to me said it has become prominent in recent years because of social media. Annie O'Brien, spokeswoman for a New Zealand group called Speak Up for Women, created a TikTok video aimed at younger thespians. Annie, who is 30, told the BBC she's concerned for the generation of thespians who are now in their teens. What are we seeing as a regression where once again young thespians are being told, how do you know you don't like pipe if you never tried it, she said. We get told she should be looking beyond the plumbing and should accept that someone says they are a woman, and that's not what playing for the same team is. You don't see as many transformer men interested in sway men, so they don't get it, the pressure as much, but you do see a lot of transformers who are interested in women, so we are disproportionately affected by it. Annie believes these kinds of messages are confusing for young thespians. I remember being a teenager in the closet and trying to desperately to get to be straight, and that was hard enough, she said. I can't imagine what it would have been like if I'd finally come to terms with the fact that she's a thespian, to be faced with the idea that some male bodies are not. I'm really trying to, speak in code here. Like, they're trying to make them date Transformers and they don't want to. Here's what one person wrote. I don't want to date somebody because they have a pipe. Wow, thanks for reducing not only your sexuality, but also a person down to their plumbing. Look, this is sad. This is really sad. Plumbing preference is at least 99.9% transformer phobic. I'm sorry if you're going to be mad at this, but yes, it is transformer phobic to have genital plumbing preference. No ifs or ands about it. Nothing you can say can change that. The sad thing is like, you got this community, this alphabet community that's not going to do anything for these thespians if these if these transformers want to attack them, if they get rejected. You got a grape culture going on, and these are the same people that want equality and want to be treated fairly. This is sick. A whole grape culture going on here. You know what rhymes with grape? There's a whole grape culture going on here. Saying thespians don't date transformers because they are literally thespians. They're attracted to women, not transformers, is transformer phobic. Wow. It's crazy, man. Annie says she gets contacted on Twitter by young thespians who do not know how to exit a relationship with a transformer. They tried to do the right thing and they gave them a chance and realized they are a thespian and they didn't want to be with someone with plumbing. And the concept of transformer phobia and bigotry is used as an emotional weapon that you can't leave because otherwise you will be known as a person that hates them. That's basically it. This is like emotion. This is like blackmail. This is blackmail right here. Like others who have voiced their concerns, Annie received abuse online. I've been incited to kill myself. I've had rape threats, she said. However, she says she is determined to keep speaking out. A really important thing for us to do is to be able to talk these things through. Shutting down these conversations and calling them bigotry is really unhelpful, and it shouldn't be beyond our ability to have hard conversations about some of these things. This is sad, man. This is really insane, and it's sad that these women are going through this. It really is. It's crazy too. But this is what's going on. You can't tell me there's not an agenda to this. You can't. You cannot tell me there's not an agenda to this at all. If they got to risk being kicked out the community, so be it. Because it's better to be kicked out of the community and to have your sanity than to be liked and you're dying inside. I wouldn't be surprised if these lesbians start committing suicide because they value the community more than their sanity, and that's not cool at all. Tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.